All right. And we are live, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Hopefully.
The last word with Lord Cognito and Ebontis. Ebontis, what is going on, sir?
Well, had a good stream last night. Checked a lot of boxes in one stream. Played for a while yesterday.
Hmm.
Worked. I did a Inside Terminus solo. Took me a couple
Nice.
couple attempts. I had the internet crap out in the middle of one of them. Had a couple
Hmm.
unfortunate deaths pretty far in, but finally put that one together. And then just
Hmm.
started playing some Gambit and streaming that for a while. Working on some things. I was like, all right, what do I need to work on? I needed to work on Breakneck. Never finished that one from
Nice.
forever ago.
Hmm.
21% delirium was starting to look like, I was like, it's kind of in reach. It's there.
Okay.
And then I was like, so I was working through those for a while. I was like, okay, need to get my auto rifle kills. I was just using auto rifles like crazy.
Hmm.
I
Which
used,
auto you used?
so I used Sweet Business for some of it. I used
Okay.
Gnawing Hunger for some. I had like a
Okay.
decent Tiger Spite I could have used, but
Hmm.
somebody was just saying Sweet Business. And I just started mowing stuff down and
Hmm.
just playing some casual game, but not worrying too much about it.
Hmm.
Still got my Hammerhead, of course. Got to be that
Now I
guy.
gotta ask you real quick though, because I never got Delirium. Have you used it yet? Have you tested it out?
Nope.
Oh,
Not
okay.
haven't
So
even
I want
touched
you
it
to give
yet.
me.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I want you to give me the review on that once you
Yeah.
really put it to its paces.
I mean, it's nice to have a legendary arc machine gun for
Hmm.
specific purposes like that, but other than that specifically, it's
Hmm.
I don't know. I hear pretty decent things because you can have like 200 bullets in a clip, like crazy stuff. So
Definitely, bro. Definitely. I hear you,
um,
man. So that's what it's been.
yeah, so I was playing that for a while, and then had people jump in, and then all of a sudden we were like, okay, playing with a couple people on my stream, and they jumped into my Discord, and we started actually getting organized and winning. I was like, all right, what do I need for dredging the title? So I was like,
Overlooking the.
yeah,
Yeah.
looking at the titles. So I was like, all right, so I got a couple secrets. I'd never
Hmm.
picked up Malfeasance just because I was
Hmm.
kind of like, I'd really used it, waited this far. So I was like, now, pick it up and it'll give me a boost in level later.
Hmm.
That's one of the secret triumphs. So I got that box.
Hmm.
Then I had the one where you have to have 15 people deposit at the same, or 4 people deposit 15 at the same time. That's
Hmm.
the other secret. And then the
Hmm.
one that actually took me longer because I kept forgetting is to win a match with all Gambit weapons equipped.
Oh yeah,
So I was
yeah,
like
yeah.
going through and be like, all right, remind me in the end, I'll switch my weapons over. And it works as long as you do it
Hmm.
right before your last round that you win. Switch those
Hmm.
over, got that. So literally last night, I have a video of just recording of turning everything in, of getting Malfeasance, 21% Delirium,
Woo!
Breakneck, and Dredgen title. I was just like, and I'm done.
Damn. That's what's
So
up, man. That's powerful. That's
that was a
powerful
lot.
right there. That's a lot. You eating. You eating, man. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, man. That's what's up. I mean,
I put
dredging.
some work in. Yeah.
Yeah,
I needed a
dredging.
title.
That's a big title. That's a big title, man. That's a lot of commitment. I got to give you credit.
The annoying part is, outside
What's
of
up?
like lore bones and eggs, that I haven't really shot the eggs because I always wonder if I'm ever going to do a video. All I
Hmm.
really need once I just kind of start knocking those out is going to
Hmm.
be the silver tercel, the ship, and I can have Cursebreaker. So I need the
Yeah.
sparrow. Sorry, I need the sparrow, and then I need.
Mhm.
Um, I'm getting close to Wayfair as well, so see if I can get a few titles
Okay.
and pins. So
Boy out here getting
trying to
these
look like I
titles.
actually know what I'm doing since I have a channel and all.
This boy out here getting these titles.
Trying,
Okay.
putting in some work a
Impressed.
little bit
Imp-
in between other
Impressive, sir.
things. What about you? Your hiatus from the world of Destiny and all things that is,
Yeah. So much
yeah.
for that.
Oh,
Yeah, I broke protocol.
what happened there, sir?
Well, it
I'm
all
sorry to give you a hard
started.
time.
It's all good. No, listen, I was talking very heavy last week, so it's deserved. Here's the thing. Like I had initially just jumped on to kind of like check out I think it was like some type of oh, I remember. Remember with the lunars and Earth, right?
Yep.
So I'm sitting there, I'm planning my attacks. I was so close to getting it, but then revelry happened. So I was like, I'm not playing comp. That's not
Yeah.
happening. So while I was like on the forums, I'm like, wait a minute. Service revolver that Zavala has, which is the what is it, the 180
Yep. It can. I
RPM. I'm
mean,
like,
yeah. Fallout
yeah,
has a possible god roll out there in the world.
exactly. So I said, you know what? I didn't get service revolver yet. So I was checking my strikes. I'm like, you know what? I could start grinding towards that because I haven't been grinding strikes as much as I should have because I've been in Crucible a little bit too much. So that's how the ball started, and I just was like, all right, I'll just try to grind out strikes whenever. Just stay PVE, do it, play like Ebontis, stay PVE, don't touch PvP. You know, it's gonna be hard, but just try to do that with the whole goal of getting Service Revolver to prep for no Luna, the Luna's nerf. So as I'm playing, Destiny's a funny game, man. As soon as I start playing, boom, two-tailed fox. And I'm like, oh, really? Really? Now it getting me all my exotics now that I've been, dying. Now, yeah.
Oh, you're just like, oh, I haven't played in a while. Destiny's like, oh, you haven't logged in a while. Let's throw him a couple bones and see if we can get the hooks back in.
They would literally they throw me that. They threw me what's up, Nautical? What else they threw? There's a Warlock exotic chest. I can't remember. Sanguine Alchemy? Is that
Sanguine Alchemy. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. Let me give y'all. Now here's where it went really all the way. I started blazing because I got two-tail and then I got Sanguine. Now I'm gonna give y'all Warlock some game right now. Listen up, Warlocks. I'm gonna give y'all some game. Here's the deal. You throw a Sanguine. You throw on the Stormcaller, the buffed old one, bottom tree, the one that gives you the Arc Souls last longer, the one that when you're around people, your rift goes up.
Yep.
You play that in PvP, right? Because when I jumped
in
on
there.
all you're gonna be doing is living around other people, getting your rifts. Then when they're in their rift and you're in the rift, you can see. In your you can see through walls. They can see through wall. It is the ultimate team like support person. If you're not good in PvP, because you're literally helping your team. You're giving them Arc Souls, you're healing them, and you're giving them sight beyond sight to look through walls and do stuff. So
yeah, it's not like infinite vision, but man, it definitely is nice to just see, especially on certain maps too. There's some where it's less, but there's some where man, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. So I had that. Then I threw on some more. I started speccing it. I threw on some like Paragon mods.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm just getting riffs all day. I was obnoxious. It was so fun. I'm having so much fun with that. It was the last day of Am Banner. Your boy went crazy. Did you see the clip?
I think I did. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh man, nice little 35 piece. It was It was real sweet. I was feeling good. I had my vigilance. I had my bug out. Oh man, so I started with that, and like I said, I've been playing. And once I've been doing the strikes and getting towards that, it's just stuff started dropping for me. And the only thing now that's left, literally, is when I see Zer. When I use my faded, he's got to give me one of those exotics now, because the only three that are left are the Magic Trio, which is Geomag, still don't have. Phoenix Protocol, still don't have. And what's the third one? Oh man, it's one more. Oh my Lord of the Wolves.
Nice.
So
yeah,
hopefully,
you got a pretty good checklist. One of those is gonna help something.
Yeah, man. Nice. So that's it. But yeah, that's been it, man. So I've been, like I said, playing, just getting in the grind again, just like have my little. Oh, and last thing, playing a lot of Armory. Lot of Black Armory, man. Having a lot of fun with that. Just grinding out, because I'm also grinding to. I want that ship.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. No, my brother. I feel like my brother even worked to try and get close to that. I don't know if he got it. I forget what it takes to get it. Mm-hmm. Just a stupid number of like GoFan, and
it's like the 100 forage things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it takes some grinding. Well, hey, like my grind has been. I mean, I'm about 4 months too late on Breakneck, but I finally got the thing. But yeah,
you gotta start using them. Breakneck is beautiful, man. I'm telling you right now, that's what you do.
I mean, pulled the Rampage spec, put it straight in. Still haven't even used it, but just literally locked it in already. Went straight there.
Oh, so you was already ahead of the game. You knew what to do.
I knew what to do with that one. Yeah, so that one was set.
Nice.
I don't know what to put in 21% delirium. We'll figure that one out.
Well, that's what I got. That's what's pretty much been it for
so
Destiny.
It's weird. We've actually been playing some Destiny. What is that?
Mm-hmm. I know. What are we doing?
Yeah. But before we get too deep in Destiny talk, which will not really be too much on Swab, it's very light. Got to talk about Anthem. Mm-hmm. Got to talk about the funeral service that is currently going on for the game.
With some possible hope, though.
No, I mean, so basically what's going on, the words have been out there. Quite a few developers main developers and main leads on Anthem are shifting to Dragon Age 4.
Mhm.
They're kind of turning it over to the live team. They've launched this thing. They've kind of seen what needs to happen, which is a ton. And we all know it. But it's like that gameplay loop is there, but it's like they just need to work on a lot of stuff. And as we kind of said before, I think many people out there may agree, they just need to pull like a Diablo Reaper of Souls, a Division 1.8, whatever it is to like sit back, do a whole bunch of stuff, turn this game into something, either use this to build into like Anthem 2, hope that that might actually be something, or just take the time to make a ton of content and release another piece later, because everything's basically delayed. All the progression, the Cataclysm, all that stuff is delayed. There's no real date for it. And with major developers leaving, what do you think about that? What do you think of them, like the larger chunk? I mean, there's some that are staying, but quite a few are moving on.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. I mean, obviously, when I heard the news, article went out, and it's talking about these guys are moving off development to Dragon Age 4, and then you're just like, man, it really hurt because you saw the names, you remember those names, right? We were like, the Chads, and I forgot old boy's name, the other two, but pretty much those three, the names that were involved were the guys that were kind of on the front line for Anthem that would talk to the community every day. You'd get the updates. So to see those names say, hey, they're kind of moving on, it didn't sit well with me. I'll be honest. It's very, to me, it's not even anger for me. It's just sad. Like, I'm just like, when I heard that, I'm like, man, like this is kind of early. You know what I mean? And, I thought they would be a little bit more committed to it. But as I'm getting more information, and then I believe Chad Robertson, he's now.
Chad Robertson and Ben Irving. Ben Irving, I think, is still there. I saw. So those two.
Yeah, Ben Irving's still there.
And Ben Irving was active on Twitter. Like, he was one of the ones I saw the most. So
very much so. Very much so.
I think they're the ones down in Austin.
Yeah, I believe Austin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw Chad's tweet today, I mean, actually after which was yesterday night, he made the statement, we're still 100% committed to Anthem, looking forward to showing players the new content we're working on. We want to make sure we aren't over-promising, so updates on what's coming in the game will be focused when we have things near completion. And then he continues and he says, him and Ben, they've got a big team between Austin and Edmonton focused on motivating for improving the game. We appreciate your support and for being on the journey with us. So the vibe I'm getting is, yes, this thing is transitioning to a live team, but at the end of the day, they're not completely going away from it yet. Yep. So one would hope, you know what I'm saying, that whoever is still working on the game, that they still have a roadmap in place for that turnaround, like that 1.8 or that, Diablo kind of thing, or that Taken King kind of thing.
Yeah, something big is what it needs.
Yeah, we need some Taken King moments, y'all. Like, that's what they need, So you just hope that it's not lip service and that it's actually going to happen, and there's still a commitment to the game. Because I was talking to people on Twitter, like, you just want, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to see them not give away something that has a great foundation. You want a game like this to get a sequel, right? Because we both agree the flying is fun, the classes are great, the game, graphically is good. So at least on PC, but fair enough, master it. But all I was saying is just like, you don't want it to die, man. So we see what's up, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of those pieces too. It's like, it's hard to watch. I haven't really jumped back. I never really totally maxed. I know a couple friends that got to basically max level, kind of played it out. But at that point, even Paul Tassie's like, there's one thing to grind out, mostly, that's going to be your most efficient when you get to the top. And I'm just like, I could, do normal stuff and kind of play through and get some drops and see. And that's just kind of the weird thing at this point. They're not letting, at least the people that are playing, just have a lot of loot. Like, they're not just cranking that up to like, 3 or 4x and just throwing loot at them, because it's still random rolls like anything else, and at least let the few people that are playing have fun.
Yo, Slow-Mo dropped a nugget on us. He said in the chat, he said Jason Schreier said the main leaders heading up Anthem and Edmonton were planning on transitioning to Dragon Age 4 well before Anthem launch. So this could be something, like I said, I mean, something like Slow-Mo was saying, where it's already in the works, and almost like Destiny. I would say like a Luke Smith and Noseworthy, right? They started off at the launch, and then ultimately you don't see them anymore,
Right.
and they're going off into Destiny 3. So hopefully it's that situation, and they already had that transitionary process in place, and it's not as bad as it looks because optically, slow mo, it just didn't feel good. You know what I'm saying? Just to see that. And you're like, wait, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? Like, are they dropping it? Is EA walking away? So, I mean, I agree. I think that's probably what is happening. You just want to see the follow through. You just want to see the commitment to the roadmap and them move forward with it. So,
And that's what will happen sometimes with just rumors and information going around. It's like people on Twitter will say like, "Hey, I'm moving on down," stuff like this, and people like, you know, larger minds all put together say, "Hey, these four people all work at this one place. What's happening?" And something like that'll happen. But then, you know, when he sit there and says, "It's like, you know, this was planned before it even started." Okay, like that was an expectation that they know, and they're like, "Yeah, this is totally fine. This is what we're expecting. Got this thing off the ground, live service. We're going on to the next thing." But in like our eyes, is we're like, "Oh, this person's leaving and this person's leaving," and then you hear just people talking around the internet and spreading random tweets and stuff like that. It's almost like rumors to say, "Oh, everything's on fire. They're throwing Anthem in the bushes and all this other stuff." So it's like this means I've listened to too many ILPs when I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's the ILP coming through. I love it. ILP bushleg.
Oh man.
Yeah, he talked that
But no, but that's kind of one of those things that works as a perfect segue into what we've been playing. Yeah,
The cars in the street. Clearly.
yeah, they have opinions about it. So
I'm sorry. Your question. Repeat your question, sir.
yeah, no, but it's just as we take a whole bunch of people leaving a studio to go on to do something that was planned,
Right.
and it's not a big deal. But in Twitter's mind and things like that, it's like it's a big deal. And then you turn and flip to Destiny. Got like 4 or 5 people leaving. Again, you see Hamrick just like, man, I've been doing stuff for like 8 years. I want to take a break and do other things. And so it's like, and I think Hamrick and Wisniewski are like actually doing something together. But you see like
Jill
the writers
Schraw broke
go.
my heart though. I love me some Jill Schraw though, man.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, a lead writer, you got Claude Jerome, and then Joe Groth. All those guys from Bungie have left within the past 6 weeks or so, which is quite a bit. And everybody's like, what's happening over there? Is it good? Is it bad? MTash put a video out, and I was like, same thing. It's like, I mean, from Wisniewski, it's like they've been doing something for 8 years. Whether they're, I got to a good spot and I want to take a break and do my thing. Whether it's
Right.
like some of it is like it is coincident that there's a lot coming together at the same time, and maybe they know things that we don't, good, bad, or otherwise.
Right.
But again, it's just like things do get spun drastically out of proportion, and social media does that a lot. And it's just one of those pieces that I don't know. It's like always just like pull back a second and think. It's like there are certain reasons. It's like 5 people, you know, pretty close together. 2 guys that know each other that are pretty much in every video together, leaving and doing a project together. That's just their choice.
Right.
Like
right.
that one's theirs. Some of the other ones, like you gotta wonder, but you know.
No, I hear what you're saying. Just to expound on it, it's just like I try not to jump to conclusions when I hear news. Obviously, when if it's something you care about, obviously Destiny we care about, Studio we care about. So when you have these people that you've grown, these names that you've grown accustomed to seeing, right? You definitely have that attachment. So when you're like, damn, this one's gone. So I guess with me, it became, at first, yes, I admit I may have jumped conclusion a little bit, like, yo, like, wow, what's going on? Like all of them at the same time, like, and like the thing is, like you said, I mean, it could be very well, that these guys have been a long time, they are moving on. I will say this though, whenever you see multiple, again, this is speculation, when you see multiple people that leaving at one time, right? Sometimes it's a preemptive move before something else happens, right? So let's just say you're in a corporate world or whatever, and you're hearing, hey, things is going to be restructured, or you have a new CEO, or in Bungie's case, they're on their own, right? So who's to say, they may have privy to information in the future as far as the roadmap or how things are going to sustain going forward. And they say, hey, you know what? Maybe the time might be to put the resume out. Or, hey, maybe good things just happen to come along right at that time, and they transition also out at the same time. So let's, at the end of the day, Bungie's a huge company. It's like 700 plus employees.
Yeah.
So,
like that I heard.
Listen, I get it. These are really, really big names, and, we'll see what's up. But I'm not going to get crazy yet. And I just need to see more of opulence and whatever September, or if it even comes out in September, as we discussed with another game that is in that month that Slow Mo is over here talking very strongly about. That's
Well,
his
okay,
game.
so first piece, like Revelry ends on Tuesday.
Thank God.
What'd you do? What'd you do? How much?
Not play the Revelry. I did everything I could in my power to avoid it. That's how much I love.
And then it still got you. It still got you.
I didn't touch Revelry. I've not played Revelry not once. I haven't
No,
even.
you played the game with Crucible involved, is what I'm saying, and that's the worst part of Revelry.
Oh no. I played. You're right. I played Iron Banner's final day.
Yes, I know.
And then I stayed out of that after it went away, and I've been all PvE. I've been all PvE.
There you go.
That's what I've been doing.
Hey, I got a Nightfall guide out there for you. I want to see you solo. You got a solo in Nightfall. You got a solo 100K
You're
Nightfall.
Right.
So you got to do that.
You're right. I've never done it. I actually need to do that. You're right.
I was like, there's enough out there. They're like, hey, I've watched the videos. I was like, I got the guys. I wouldn't do Inside Terminus. I wouldn't start with that
one. Not that one.
Well, that one even took me 22 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I got like 113 or whatever. So, I mean, I got over the mark, but it was more like, yeah, there are other ones that are like, I can probably point you to an easier one, but I want to get that tweet and be like, yo, hit that solo final screen and be like, all right.
I'll get it done. I got some builds I want to play around.
Yeah.
I can have some fun with.
But yeah, in the world of Destiny, we know there are some people who have left, but it's like, honestly, we've got Revelry ending on Tuesday. What's next?
Yeah, I thought you was about to drop some.
No, I was literally like, I'm kind of like shrugging. If you listen to this on audio, which some of you guys are, and you guys can definitely tune in on audio now, we're on Google Podcast, iTunes, and Spotify are the two big ones. We're pretty much everything, and Podbean now too. So if you can't find us on one of them, go look on another. We're on a lot.
Nice, we got that audio up, guys.
But yeah, it's like I'm basically shrugging my shoulders to basically say, I don't know, for May 7th to June 4th, whatever the date is we were talking about before. Like, yeah, June 4th is the first Tuesday. So we got 4 solid weeks of, I don't know.
Yeah, and they allude to it in the, I will say this, they allude to it in the 12 that we'll get into about the silence. So it's like, okay, we got to know something, because ain't nothing really going on. Yeah, man, this is very interesting. I haven't seen this approach between seasons yet.
Yeah, it's like we knew this was the lighter season. We kind of guessed that, at least with Drifter content, not a big expanse of other stuff. They're not the forges we're spreading out and those other things. It was just Drifter. And then we got the Revelry. And then it's like, what are the dates? When does Opulence? We have a month. And the way they've been dropping the stuff for the previous season is like the week before. They'll tease a little bit 2 weeks before, and then the week before they kind of drop what's going on. But if Opulence is all these secrets and everything, then I got nothing.
I got nothing, bro. It's very interesting to me. I don't know. I really don't. This is uncharted territory, and hopefully, like I said, we'll get into the 12 and stuff. We could try to piece this thing together, because this is strange to me.
Yeah. So in the TWAB, it was a light one, but in cool things that do happen sometimes. The Shattered Throne ride along. So I got to watch about half of it, and
talk to me.
The half I watched was cool just because I love that place. So much fun. I ran it the other day, actually on Tuesday. Literally started it at like 11:30 on reset, and then went through. I was in there for like 2 hours, and then did my weekly reset stuff. So that was fun.
Nice.
And then, but yeah, watching halfway, I got about halfway through, and just having them talk about like the art and just kind of the cool way when you go into the Shattered Throne. And that's what I was like. I didn't even get to Vorgath. I didn't get to the 2 boss fights, so I didn't actually get all that far. But the cool thing they described, and that's what they wanted to do, and they described like a postcard. And they said postcard, basically like your single shot image of kind of the area of what you're going to. It's just like an artist concept thing. But the postcard was literally from where you're starting all the way to the top of that Spire Tower. And they said literally in that instance, where you start at those steps as you go down into Erebus with all those symbols and everything, the tower you see at the top, that's exactly where you're going.
Really?
Yeah, that is exactly where you end up, because if there's a point in the descent where you can, because that's the second part with the catwalks and the little mini ogres in the Shadow Thrall area, when you enter the descent, before you go down the rocks and you look straight through the entire canyon, you can see the doorway you're going to go into to the Vorgath fight. You can see it all when you look in there.
Wow, that's pretty dope. That's dope.
So
the
like
scale of that.
Yeah, it's really cool to see the scale and just kind of look around in there and see. And you're like, all right, so I'm going to go out over here, then I'm going to cross back over to the left, go to do this over here, cross over this one, head up those, and it's just like really cool to watch and see that they planned all that stuff out. So
I love seeing stuff like that, man. I know that one definitely holds a special place for me because it's it was, first of all, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
It's borderline a mini raid for 3 players, and it's just real cool, man. It's absolutely really cool to see something like that, and I like to get behind the scenes stuff like that. Oh my lord, Forte's going in the chat, man. He said, I haven't been so uninterested in Destiny like I am right now ever in my life. I feel you, bro. This is how I was 2 weeks. The game is like watching paint dry. Listen, bro, I feel you. I'm with you. The only thing that got me to reinvest, only thing I can tell you is start what I call like doing cleanup. Things that you know that you're going to need in preparation for patches, bugs, or just in general of a new season. And literally, that's what I've been doing. Like, that's why my service delivery quest started going. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've been cleaning up things as far as the vault, I mean, the armory stuff, weapons. I've been trying to work on loadouts and builds. Literally, that's what kind of got me going. But if that don't interest you, like E said, it's okay to step away.
I do say that.
You got a whole bunch of other games to touch.
Yeah, actually, quite a few. Speaking of another game that we're going to be touching, so we've got Season of Opulence, June to August. We don't know a damn thing about it. Seriously, like we don't know anything about Season of Opulence yet. We have some 6-player match-made activity, supposedly. But like just like the roadmap changed before, it may change again. We don't know. I'll be curious what that one's called, but people have data mined what that thing's going to be called. And then going to have a raid. So that should be cool. That's one everybody looks forward to.
Nice.
Have the raid race. That'll last for, the raid race is like
really
like a 1 day on Twitch, like Bubble. And the way they typically go lately, they've been quick. And then we don't know. We don't know what's next. We know if you read Paul Tassi's article, it's like September has been something in the world of Destiny every September. But early September now has a giant roadblock. And I got to say, so we're going to talk about Borderlands 3 now for a minute.
Let's get it.
The way, the confidence they had to do their gameplay from the very beginning, to explain kind of what was going on and set it up that way, to have streamers just live stream a version of their game and not have it break is a whole lot of play testing, whole lot of QA, and a whole lot of confidence to know that their game that people are going to stream live, not like a cookie cutter, here's this thing, you can't really screw it up, make your content here. No, just go explore and see what happens. And from what I saw, everyone's loving it. Like nothing really broke, everything's good. So and it's just more Borderlands, which is what most people, they're not trying to do the live service model. They have a billion guns or whatever, like guns with legs and crazy stuff. But I mean, quality of life, they said from people, like the shooting isn't like Destiny level. It's not that level, but they said it's definitely a lot better. It's closer. It's getting crispier. The art style could be a little divisive on Stump because it's the cell shaded, not as like kind of detailed, but I mean, it'll still probably look pretty good depending on what you're running it on. And they just said more bosses than ever, more content, going to other planets on your ship that you've got. So, I mean, it's going to be big, and this is one that hasn't done anything in 7 years, I think.
Highly anticipated.
Yeah. So everybody's ready for this. So, So are you a Borderlands person?
I am not a Borderlands person, not because I don't like the game. I believe when it came out, it was right around the time when for whatever reason, something else came out during the time, and I was completely wrapped up, and I came out late with it. But I ended up playing it, and I really did enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. The gunplay was nice, and I'm a sucker for cooperative experiences, so it really resonated with me on that level. And then, it was crazy because I played the game, and I'm like, okay, cool. But you know when I really got into the game? Playing the Telltale version of Tales of the Borderlands. Have you played that?
No.
Let me tell you, that is one of the best Telltale games. It is absolutely hilarious, and it puts you in the universe. So now I understood. It helped me understand what the feel, the tone of Borderlands really is.
Yep.
Because I really was fraudulent with the story. I heard about Pandora. I really didn't know what was going on, but it's so funny. It doesn't take itself seriously, and I just started like there are moments I've never played a game where you have moments and you just put the controller down and you erupt in laughter. I'm like, this game is stupid. It's like silly, like, but it's what it is, man. It represents their personality. It's yeah. Shout out to Slow Mo. Tales of the Borderlands, one of the best. I see some dude that look like Rise, RHYS. That character Slow. Let me know if he is in part 3. But Fuente says, tell Randy it's called Looter Shooter, not Shooter Looter. Yeah, I hate when he says that. Shout out to Randy Pitchford. We're gonna talk about him in a minute too.
Yeah, we gotta touch on
Yeah,
that.
we gotta get into Mr. Microtransaction himself.
Oh my god.
But now back to Borderlands. Like the game looks fun. I watched a couple of gameplay streams. Shout out to all the people who got sent out there. I think it was Eurogame. I had one. Man, it looked fun, man. It looked fun. It does look great. The abilities look great. Now here's the thing where I actually like really the destiny in me smiles was the stopping of that loot ninja stuff, so that the drops are now to you and your specific love. You don't have to worry about someone that's like a Borderlands thing. Like people will come in, loot ninja, take your stuff, and then like after a drop. So as us as Destiny players, we don't ever have to deal with that. Like 'cause it's tailored. Our engrams are tailored to us. We're gonna get what we get. There's not this mad scramble to go underneath, Atheon and take engrams away from other people. Like that's some like, Borderlands stuff. I ain't about crap. That. Like,
yeah, no.
Oh, Slow Mo. He said yes. He's in part 3. He's running. Oh, I like Rise. Shot Slow Mo, man. That's my guy. He's giving me game. Yeah, Rise is a character in the Tales for the Borderlands series that I really got. He's absolutely hilarious. He's like one of the main characters. So he's telling me he's in the game. So yeah, but yeah, I like what I saw. It looks fun. The cell shaded, the graphics look good. On PC it's going to be fantastic. Next generation consoles looks like it's going to be 4K or what have you. And I'm ready. So let's get to the beat of it, which is September.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to hit September 13th. That's when typically with Activision saying, hey, we're going to hit this September schedule because Call of Duty is a couple months later and this is what we're going to do. We're going to space it out. Bungie doesn't have to do that anymore. And now they're staring at this. So, being that history says that Destiny, as Paul Tassi eloquently wrote, right? He wrote beautiful. He was quick on it.
Tassi.
Somebody's in my camp at least.
Of course. We're gonna give this is your day to shine. So we're gonna give the act. So historically, every Destiny release in the fall has been September. That is just what it has been. This is a transitionary year, and we know they're on their own. The question is, Evantis, does Destiny need to move their date? Let's go.
Yeah.
That was quick.
I mean, if they're smart and don't want to get swallowed up by the giant thing that is Borderlands, because honestly, you have some of your biggest people on Twitch that are going to go straight to Borderlands. Your Gathalions, your Bromans, some of your big streamers. There are going to be a lot of people that want to play it, and then you take the people like Datto, people like others that are going to do raids and things. They're going to want to go where the big views are. I mean, they still have business and popularity. They have to kind of follow certain trends because they are big enough to do that. A smaller streamer is smart to actually stay on Destiny and actually be like, hey, I'm going to see what else is out here and do this and not go try and play with the big boys because you're just going to get buried on like the 20th page. But the bigger ones who can play, they're going to. So quite a few people are going to jump in there. So, I mean, yeah, as Tassi was saying, either August, which I don't think is, honestly don't think August is an option. Because we have Season of Opulence already like determined out to be there. So you have June through August already set. And at the end of that, 2 weeks later, you've got Borderlands. So what do we do? What do you do?
I think I got a strategy.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You need to go meet with Pete Parsons and see what we got.
I'm gonna talk to is it Pete Activision or he's Bungie? I always forget.
I thought Pete was Bungie.
You may be right. Yeah. So here's the thing. All right, here's the deal. Now we know that they've historically always done September. They can't. The game's not in that place right now. Content wise, what might save them is because of the annual pass structure and the fact that normally we never get content in the summer. So when is Opulence? We're gonna say what, July? What is it?
June 4th probably would be my bet if I had to
Oh,
put
so
money
it's
on a date.
June.
Yeah, it's June.
Okay,
June,
so we
July,
got
August.
June.
That's every three months. Sorry,
Yeah.
every 3 months we've had a season.
All right,
So
so we got June. Yeah, they can't, because at the end of the day that means July, August, September, every another 3 months. You have to do. What was the game that did that this year? That moved. Wasn't it Call of Duty? They moved from Red Dead this year.
yeah,
It'll be last year,
yep,
right?
they absolutely did.
You've got to bend the knee. You if you drop with Borderlands, the 7 years, whatever it's been in the making, completely in its own lane. And here's the thing: let's be honest, E. Like Destiny has been very fortunate. Remember, because we all did. I had you on ILP, last year, and we talked about that infamous, Destiny versus Division versus, you know what I'm saying. Now, don't get me wrong, Division is doing its thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about it. Division is doing its thing, but we still ain't got no raid, right?
Mm-mm.
And we have established that the Destiny player and the Division player, for the most part, are separate people,
Yep,
right? Anthem was kind of that game that everybody was like, oh, this might be the one. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen what
obviously
happened with
not. Yeah,
Anthem. Right. So now enter Borderlands. This is the threat. The established history.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's in the space, looter shooter, guns, fun. Like, they know what they do and they do it well. They're not trying to do anything else but what they do. That is going to kill that base. You see half of the majority of the Destiny community being flown out there. These guys love the game. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like the Tassies, the Cactus, the Broman. Like you said, all these guys, the
Well, it's like
Italians.
like Briars and Tefty. I know they went and they're half a DCP. It's like there's a lot of people in the Destiny world that are going.
Yeah. So you can't, they can't. I mean, I think, I'm very curious to see how they handle this because, I think you have to blink. You got to bend the knee. You got to survive the storm. So you got to come out in that October or I'm a pulling the bonnet whenever it's ready.
Hey,
The October or the
what?
November. Well, maybe you
What?
can't do November though. You can't because you got to stay away
See,
from
this
cold.
is where I wanted to get into that talk because
Yeah.
October,
You got-
November is when other heavy hitters like Borderlands is still. It's a 4-player co-op experience. There's no real.
Mhm.
It's not meant to be live service. They're not going to keep adding stuff. There's a point some
Mhm.
people will like play through their time in Borderlands for a good month or two. Some people still grind it out and do multiples, but it's like your first playthrough does have a fine, relative endpoint. I mean, there's going to be lots of planets and tons of stuff to do, but there's a relative endpoint. So that October, November still gives space for those games. That's why Activision even played the same card the way Destiny and Call of Duty would. But then you do potentially get in Call of Duty, which is rumored to be Modern Warfare 4, which is nothing to totally balk at. You've got Star Wars of the Fall, what is it, Fallen Order? And whatever
yeah,
else.
hold on, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's going to be your decent sized game there for single player people. You've got Call of Duty coming for shooters, and we still don't know what else. Obviously, we haven't seen E3 yet and things like that. So, where does Bungie squeeze in? What do they squeeze in? What do they do?
It's got to be October. You got to do October. October,
Yeah.
for the most part, you might have some single player experiences. Let's line up the competition, right? I mean, generally October, you figure sometimes Battlefield would drop. I don't know if they're going to drop this year. You know what I'm saying? Based on what's going on. I got to look at the lineup, but I mean, I think October is the safe month because you avoid November of the craziness because November is going to be, like I said, you got your Activision releases, you got your new Call of Duty, you got to stay out that lane. You cannot compete with them in that space. September, I mean, even if you try to, you can't make the mistake of doing early September because what's
So
going
you
to
only
happen,
you only get a week before.
you're going to get like a week, 2 weeks, your population is out of here.
Yep.
Then, I mean, you could, I guess, if you really want to be risky, what is it? The 16th is Borderlands? Let's pull up the calendars, right?
Borderlands is 13th.
13th, right? So I'm looking at
I've only
September,
looked at
right?
enough stuff. Now I know the date.
All right. So it's September 13th, you said?
Yeah.
So that's a Friday. Okay. So if it's September 13th, which is second week, you can't come out. Man, I mean, you could be cute and try to drop the 20, but honestly, you got to hit October 4th or 11th. This way, you give yourself that 3 week to 4 week buffer. Let the community get it in, get it out their system. It's not gonna get out their system, but completely. But at least you can weather the storm. You
Well, I mean,
cannot come
Bungie's
out within
like-
a 2 week radius of that game.
Well, they're gonna do it Tuesday, so it's the 1st or the 8th or the 15th. So
Yeah, so yeah, they're gonna do it Tuesday. Exactly. So you gotta be the 8th or the 15th. This way, you get October, you get a cool, smooth month, rock out. November comes, you're still okay. You know what I mean? That Call of Duty's going to do what it do. But yeah, you have to, man. You cannot play around with Borderlands.
So what comes in October?
Hopefully a comet, but I know most likely it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the question now is to,
Yeah.
you see people leaving Bungie, you're wondering, hey, is it a big deal? Or they already, all that's like, I mean, Destiny, whatever, that's still in the works. Like, that's been in the works forever.
Yeah.
Live service pieces, whatever they're going to do with that is going to be, oh, you're good. No. But yeah, just live service is going to maintain what they've got. And I wonder if I'm still like, they do need to address their community. I think because we've had this discussion multiple times. We don't need to hash it out again. They just need to address what's going on. Whether they say, but this is one of the, I was like, before I get to what I was about to say, I want to say one other thing. So like previously, like we were talking about like mind share and stuff like that. With like Destiny not putting out content, people going away. How much mind share do you think Borderlands was really worried about? And mind share is not even the right word. People aren't going to forget about Destiny in a year. It's not like somebody's like, oh, Destiny 3 got announced. What's that game? They know exactly what the hell the game is. No, I'm just saying. Like, no, but as
I control myself.
No, but okay, from a realistic standpoint, that's truth, right? If Destiny 3 is announced next year, what's that? Of course, everybody knows what Destiny is. People know what Borderlands is from 7 years ago. People knew what the bigger games are. So, I mean, they're not going to forget what the game is.
Okay.
So, they're not going to... Okay. No, I'm just saying, like... I mean, as Seaside Johnny's saying, Destiny 3 has to drop September 2020. That, I think everybody's on board. Whenever the consoles drop, whenever all that is, I think D3 comes there. But it was like... Honestly, like, whether it's just it's... I got a feeling like the small annual pass is probably what they're going to... If this weird time shake is now what they're looking at, I mean, do they want to try and, like... It depends. It's already in the works. That's the sad part. They're 3 months away from whatever's going to happen. We're just all speculating. Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's a front-loaded annual pass and they bump it a month, whether they just stick with September and say, hey, it's still here, guys. When you come back, come back. Vagabondo saying March. March for what, Vagabondo?
Vagabondo's on some D3.
Oh, he's on D3 in March.
He's on his D3 vote right now. He's going hard for D3.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
No, okay, so what? I was like, what if that... Okay, fine. We've hashed out the other argument. I don't even make you breathe heavy. Yeah. What if D3 actually did a March? What would, like... That's only a 6-month gap. Just give the live service time to maybe do a couple live events and things like that. Maybe you don't do a lot, and then you have 6 months, and then when... Not a lot is planned for that time. They swing big.
It's a good month to come out. Yes, I agree with you in the month to come out, but I disagree. I do not want it coming out in March. And the reason why I don't want it coming out before the next generation consoles, because
that's a point too.
Yeah, we need to have it in unison, and we need the next generation consoles to have a fresh start so that PC and cross-play and everyone's one big happy.
Because I do want that.
That's what they initially wanted before the PlayStation fiasco kicked in. So, I'm with you, man. I think no March. Push that bad boy, December. I can be cool. It's going to sound crazy. I can be cool. I mean, because it is a little scary to launch, to me, Destiny at the same time of next generation consoles. But everything is scalable, so maybe I'm overreacting. But if they could do fall, and maybe it's a cross-generation release, you know what I'm saying? Where the old consoles still have it,
Same
and then the new
last time. As long as it doesn't mess with it, though. As long as it's not like vault spaces because of Xbox 360's memory. I'm like, you can kiss my butt now. You don't get to say that again.
Well, that too bad for those dudes. Because we'll be playing with the big boys. But I mean, no disrespect. But yeah, they got to do that. But in reference to September, dude, stay away. They cannot do that. They cannot come out anywhere close to this game. And I'm one that I've never blinked when it comes to Destiny. I'm a person that when Destiny drops, I don't care about whatever. That game, Borderlands, is the game that you have to fear.
I mean, it's not a live service long laster. It's some people that will play it a lot and have multiple playthroughs, but it is a force in that timing space that they usually occupy that now basically bleeds into the crazy fall, October, November that is packed. So, I mean, if you Okay, so then as Bungie looks at, they may have heard about, things coming whenever this got announced and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So for their value proposition for the content they put in,
Hmm.
what if their front-loaded annual pass and things like that? What if that front load now gets shifted to like another month? What if they start the annual pass smaller to kind of weed through these few months, and then they say maybe December or January, then their bigger piece is like, hey, we're going to do this annual pass. I mean, honestly, it'd be hilarious if they would ever actually just say, we know there's like 16 other big games coming out right now. We're not going to fight for your time because we know you guys want to do that. But when those things die off towards like Christmas or January, we want to give you guys a decent chunk of content as we wait towards September. Like it's a
So
small
you're saying
start.
go away completely after Opulence?
No, like baby, like if they do say an annual pass, but say instead of everybody thinking it's front loaded, and you might just get lost in the mix,
Right.
do something small, almost like a
The
Gambit
Revelry?
side, like yeah, hopefully not quite like that.
Revelry
But like a
style?
season of the Drifter to do something smaller, maybe mess with lore, little like one-offs here and there, and then maybe in January that's when you get your bigger shot of something. Like kind of as you wanted, your Comet, so it's kind of a small lead-in, and then give them either the rest of a smaller like live service thing to fill out the year or something like
Repeat
that.
one more time. When do you want that smaller?
The smaller starts like September. Like the smaller stuff starts like
Oh, so you're saying still like okay, I
just
see where
like
you're
be
going.
like, hey, this is a baby thing. Play it off and on. Like Destiny people still like you see Dado still logs in on Tuesdays, like stuff like that. People are still gonna do a little bit here and there. So smaller thing like maybe a Gambit, just a mode or something to kind of like fill space. And as you're trying to go for, don't completely leave the world. Little bit here, but then January when the space is there, then they give you a bigger shot when you've got time to jump into something maybe larger. They've got so many options at this point. Nice thing is they have the flexibility to choose what they want to do, but man, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean this. You know how I feel. I mean it's dangerous. It's dangerous for me, man.
I was like, well, okay, let me ask you this:
Mhm.
you want a Comet? Say if they do their standard schedule, when would you like? If Comet's in September 4th, it's swallowed up, or September 7th, or whenever that thing would be right before
Right.
Borderlands through. Like, I mean, even if they did it, maybe the raid would almost be on the same damn day as Borderlands 3. You want to talk about pissed
Right.
off people would be? So
Right.
then if
No,
you
listen, I hear where you're coming. The new variable that we didn't have prior to our argument is Borderlands. So that
Yep.
changes things. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That definitely changes. Now, prior to that, I was Comet gung ho, let's go, whoever's whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this is different. This is a serious invasion to the homeland security of, of Destiny. Like, this is what it is. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you have to adjust. And as we've seen, bigger corporations, bigger studios have done it. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty has done it. I never thought I would see the day Call of Duty moved off of November. You know what I mean? And that was the Red Dead effect.
Yeah.
Again, if they hopefully they don't pull an EA, right? Which is launch on the same day as something else, and cross,
Just
like
cannibalize their title. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that. So the only way they can get away with it is if the rumor is true that it's again another season annual pass structure, right? I'll be honest. If it's this thing again, which is the rumor that we're hearing, and pass again, then I really don't care that if it drops in September anymore, because it's like it's gonna be light anyway.
Yep.
So it's like, all right, we ain't going super, super hard. Here is something. Hey guys, remember us, and then hopefully you have something else in December. And maybe you do what you said, which is kind of like backloaded, right? So maybe the first one is kind of like, you get another kind of Black Forge kind of thing, the Black Armory kind of thing. And then, it's just enough to kind of keep you in the gameplay loop. And then as you go on, you get maybe add a little bit more. I just need them to finish strong. That's all I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, I know what your point is. And we're not going to beat this because we know how we get. It'll be the last word / long point. It would be here forever. Not going to argue. It's going to be a nice discussion. But what I am going to say is that it's so imperative to keep engagement. It's so imperative for quality content, because you got guys like the hardcore. Look at Forte in here. You know what I'm saying? You got Drifter in here. You got these guys in here who love this game. We all love this game, right? And as long as the content is quality, it doesn't have to be super crazy like, Taken King-ish, level, But as long as it's solid and you feel a sense of enjoyment, that's the main thing. You can't. All I'm saying is you can't finish on a very average to revelry note where we are now. We can't go here. Like we even if we're competing, just compete. That's what I'm saying. Compete as best as you can with the resources you have, and that's all I'm saying. Like give us whisper the worm kind of things. Give us
No,
you know what I'm saying. Like
I want one more of those. I want one more of those.
give us shattered throne kind of things, right? You do that kind of stuff, and if you could finagle it, I'm coming around, right? This is non-comic cognito talking right now. You know I missed the comment. I am literally bending the knee to your strategy that I despise, right? But if we must surrender to Borderlands,
I was like, it was like Big King just walked in. I was like, sup?
yeah, like if you gotta surrender, we will go amicably. We'll be peaceful with our surrender, but just give us some engaging content or some good lore, and you're like, okay, cool. This is not Megaton. Oh my God, Taken King, y'all. But this was fun, and we had fun doing this. We like what you're doing. Just don't give us no Arc Week. Don't give us no Revelry, because I'm gonna be upset, bro. Don't give us. Don't. If you give us that, I will be out here with the picket.
Let me ask.
Yeah.
I gotta speculate now because of what you're asking. So you want good things.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have the good things.
No. Okay, sorry. Continue.
No. And that's what a lot of people want is that quality.
Mm-hmm.
What if you got your comment? And what if? Okay, weird timing situation.
Let's go. Let's talk back.
You get a mini comment in January without an annual pass.
So basically,
you got a downtime where the live team is just like literally they would do like Festival of the Lost and Iron Banners, and they're like, hey, we want to wrap this up. We want to give you guys a nice package to wrap up whatever you're asking for, whether it's Savathun, the story, whatever you got going on, and then you say opulence break of just basically ultra low key live service, literally Iron Banners and maybe Festival. That's it, and then you get say January, February, something like that. You get your mini comment before whenever they do D3. But say that's all you get though. But you want your package of good things. You want your story. You want your new activity. You want those. And if you're worried about the revelries, the arc weeks, the seasons of the Drifter, which is the annual pass, and you take your chunk and put it all in one, but you give them a little more time to get it in January. So what if and then they may trickle stuff out afterwards. But your main hits like February until whatever comes next. That serves yours. That gives them a little time to dodge the Borderlands 3 bullet. How would that sit with? I'm just curious. Like, how would that sit with you? Because you got like 3 months of kind of downers time.
Let me before I answer, I have to address the comment because we have Lord Slow-Mo from the realm of Borderlands, who's very arrogant right now. He's saying Destiny's bending the knee. He's to the Lord of Looter Shooters. He's going in on me. He knows my ego can't take this as a Destiny fan. Bothering me that I have to surrender to this man and his gaze. He actually been on fire because me and him were on the division camp. So right now he's been pumping this Borderland. I don't like his arrogance. He's feeling himself because I know I'm gonna most likely have to surrender in September, but I'm gonna fight. So this is what I say. Oh yeah, Dizzy, he's another one. It's the truth. We gotta surrender. But here's the thing. I see where you're going with the comment until January, right? What you say, like January, February-ish?
Yeah.
Kind of hit hard.
Yep.
You can do that.
All right.
You can do that. But I think you still have to put something out that month then. I still think then you still have
September, October or something.
Yeah, you still got to put, even if it's light, right? You still got to put something out that month just to say, hey, I know, we're not doing too well over here, but we're here. We have something, right? You put some little nostalgic piece. It's just tread water. It's just tread water stuff, right? Get the tread water. But it's just, as long as it's a fun gameplay. That's all I'm saying. It cannot be what Drift has been doing. That's what, as long as they give us something fun, like, what I'm saying? I'm good with that. Or, you know what they could do? Yeah, I just thought about it. They're sitting on so many fan favorite things. Where is Sparrow Racing? Where is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even want to touch Trials because you know how I feel about it, right?
Yeah. Did you see the tweet, the fake Trials tweet?
Nah, I heard about it.
No, it's just it's
talk
a
to me.
tease. It's a tease.
Hmm?
That's all. It just
Yeah.
it was tweeted out. Somebody changed their icon. It was like this like 3-person game mode. It looks more real than it should, and I was just like, that's mean. It was just
Oh, is
mean.
that real?
Yeah, it looked pretty good. It looked all
Listen,
right.
bro,
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
tell you
what?
this.
Oh,
They can literally not drop no major content. Give back trials, put back SRL racing, give us some fan favorite things, right? That could hold you. I'm not gonna say it's gonna win. It can hold you. You get goodwill from the community, right? Community sees stuff that they love, beloved stuff. They come back. They're like, okay, cool. We're here. We'll hold the fort down until we get the big release, until we prep for D3. And they also just be transparent. All I gotta do is say, yo, here's the deal, y'all. Everyone's hands on deck for Destiny 3, with anticipating a fall whatever release. They could just say, they can say like generic, like a fall 2020 or whatever it is. So this way everybody's like, oh, big boy's coming. See, once you know it mentally in your head, you're okay. It's when you don't know, and then you're getting beat upside the head by Borderlands and all these other games out here, and you say, Destiny, what are you doing? What about us? That's when you start to get the thing. So as long as they do that, I'm okay with the strategy.
fair enough. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, we've kind of hashed out most of those before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the point to where like after stepping away and playing other games, like I stepped into Division with my brother and we're kind of going
Mm-hmm.
through the missions, things like that. It's okay to step away from the game for a little while. It is. I don't think anyone in chat can tell me at some point when you step away and you play another game that it almost doesn't refresh your time in Destiny when you do step back into it.
You're a good man. You're a good man. Like, I give you credit, man. This how bad I'm fiending. Like, I'm finding excuses to play the game I love when there's literally no real new content that I really enjoy.
And
But I'm
that's
finding things.
but
That's how much I want to play.
that's the thing is if they like if you step away those times when you're like I don't want to play Revelry, I don't want to play Revelry, and there's this whole thing like itching at your head, and it's like it still made you come back and play Iron Banner to a point of I almost didn't come back the last time this
Yeah,
happened.
Forte, no.
And
You know what it is?
and that's one of those things like that's some of the issue of congrats about for giving Division a shot. I wasn't not going to give it a shot. I just was playing Sekiro first actually. That one just took me. It's just the point like you look what Borderlands did taking a giant break, and Destiny's never going to do that until the franchise is done. It's never going to be that far. But it is one of those pieces to where the whole live service piece, we see all these studios, whether it's like Epic Games, like basically killing themselves to try and stick with the live service model of Fortnite to a point of like unhealthy and things like that. You see what Red Dead did for the crunches and things. There's a point where if sometimes we're spoiled as gamers to this point with the live service model, with our expectation of always having content. When we used to just like wait for another Mario game or a Zelda game and you have so much time in between, and there's points where it's like it's okay to step away because when you do consider like if they're going to relaunch with something good, because we're 2 years into this, we're on the downhill slide of Destiny 2-ish, whatever you want to call it, like whatever we do get is going to be like not the fan service, that's more of an Avengers term, but it is going to be that thing to basically hold people over. So I mean, that's why I was wondering, because if you go annual pass, but you're not happy with the annual pass pieces you get, waiting until you get a bigger chunk that you are happy with, and then they're like, break time. Kind of like old D1, where you're going to have a drought, but then you get some back. And that's kind of, we've talked about both, and it's just kind of, I'm very curious to see what they do.
The thing is, they can do this annual pass thing, right? But it's just got to be better. It's just, we can demand a little better. That's all I'm saying. And at the end of the day, as far as the go away thing, you are a good man. That's going to be my expression for you. You're good. Here's the thing. I love this game. I love the shooting of this game. I love how it makes me feel. I love everything about this game. Cosmetics, fun, cooperative play. So again, when I play these other games, right? If you're wondering why don't you just play other stuff? And I try. I literally do. I play other things, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is nothing gives me that feeling. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to go away when something for extended periods of time. when nothing else gives me that feeling. The other things to me are like distractions, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of the hardcore Destiny guys feel that way. So it's
Yeah.
just like it's a tough thing when you want to play something, right? You really love it, but it's not in the best state. You know what I'm saying? And then see the problem when it happens, and I know how this is what it really is. And I think Siegfried, Siegfried made it, and Forte made it. What happens is then when you go away, you start really enjoying yourself out there outside the married life. It's very difficult to come back when you go away for a while and something really enraptures you, whether it be Borderlands or Division or what Sekiro, whatever it is, right? See, okay, Sekiro is one and done, so you're good. But the worst case scenario for me is really getting entrenched into something else because I know me, E. I ain't gonna come back, and that scares me because I don't want to ever say that about them. I don't want to say those words, but I know me. E.
I honestly don't care what you're playing. If they say D3, you're gonna buy it.
Yeah, but that's too long. You know what I'm saying?
But no, but
Mhm.
but that's the point. If there's a D3, you're going to play that game.
I get that, but the masses won't. That's the problem, and we need people to play with. E. If it's just us, the masses not. It's gonna be spooky out here, and people will be so disgusted. The name, just the thought, hearing of the name, that that game, like who plays that? It'll be
But I mean, the
worse than how
masses are going to
people.
depart for chunks here and there. Like Borderlands is going to pull the masses
Mhm.
away. Like the masses are going
Borderlands
to
didn't
step away.
leave on a bad note. You can't leave on a bad note. You can't end the show with a stinker and then try to come back and say, "Hey guys, remember me?" People be like, "Nah, fam, we remember you."
So okay, so what if that's why I was saying if you just get that content in January, that's good, but you wait 3 months to get it, as opposed to you want something in September, October. What if that leaves you as a stinker and you're like, I don't want the rest of it?
No,
What?
I've already conceded. We've bent the knee to Borderlands already. You can stop rubbing it in. It's no damn
No, but I'm
September.
just saying. But you
We're
get
doing it.
nothing until like January, February.
But a rumor, I'm going to believe the rumor. The rumor
Yeah,
is that it's annual pass again.
annual pass. Yeah.
I'm
They might.
sticking with
I
that
think they
story.
would be smart at this point to move whatever their biggest chunk is to later. Though at this point, though.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Here, shout out to Forte. I played Warframe every day for 3 years. Then Destiny. I haven't played Warframe since. That's my point. This is the thing, and I'm gonna give you quick history. I know we're supposed to be a short show. Here's the thing. My history was Halo, right?
Hmm.
When Halo came out, that thing changed my life. I've never played anything like that. I played that thing religiously, and the multiplayer was outstanding, right? Then this thing came along called Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I seen my entire friends schism out of Halo, and it was never the same. It was never the same. Like that's what ends up happening. As much as I love where it used to be, and what happens with stuff like that is when the new kid on the block comes and he dominates you, and people don't come back. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the cycle. The thing is, Destiny has been this unusual game that it can have these lows and then magically resurrect itself.
Hmm.
All I'm saying is we got to be careful with playing with fire and doing this Phoenix analogy because if you keep crashing and burning, there's going to be a time when people don't care if you do a self-res.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's why I've said that about Destiny too. A lot of people don't care about it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're not going to win a lot of people back with small annual pass. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they're literally doing that as mini fan service. So they're player based, the quantity of people they're making whatever content between September, whatever
Mm-hmm.
comes after the annual pass until
Mm-hmm.
whatever is possibly in the future D3. That piece of content is for probably a very very small base and will be even smaller as things go out. So it's like then you got to figure out how much money do they spend on that content for a smaller base, which is an important base. Those are your leaders who are going to help bring people to get like hyped up and stuff like that. So they are still important people to the base. But in turn, it's like how much is in a business sake, how much money do you spend on like the smaller piece when you know you have to like, the other piece is going to be your chance at a larger
They've
player
planned
base.
this stuff.
Yeah.
They're planning. We got to give them more credit.
Oh, I know. I'm not
This
saying they
stuff has
haven't.
been, yeah, this is not like we just waking up and they're like, oh, what are we gonna do? They're like
Yeah.
they've got this stuff. They've been working on this stuff for a while. It's just again, we're speculating on stuff that they've probably already
Oh yeah.
cemented. That's already, they have a map. They just have not told us. And all I would say
I just want to
is
know.
tell us.
Yep.
Tell us. Let us know. Once we have an idea, if they can get away with your strategy and say, hey, all hands on deck, D3 2024, right? And this is what we're going to be doing in the meantime. Annual pass, light stuff. As much as we won't like the light stuff as much, we're cool because in the back of our head, we know the big boy's coming. But when you don't talk, right? And that's what's going on right now. It's a thing. Shout out to Slomo. He said, hey, I don't know how people leave your game is very important. They're going to leave your game whether you want them to or not. But how you leave determines whether they determines whether they'll return for a sequel or additional. That's all I'm saying. Just end it nice, quality content. Not they got to be the biggest. I'm conceding that to you, E, but it's got to be quality. It's got to be that fun factor. We're smiling. We're like, yo, that was a cool way. Like, remember when they did Age of Triumph before? We were like, yo, feels, memories. You like, yo, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want. You don't want, like, put it this way. If they said, and now all hands on deck for D3 after this stinker of a DLC.
That's my point though. It's like, what if it's like, if you're saying it's like, okay, so D3 is gonna be bigger, like, what if Opulence is great? Okay, Opulence is great. Last piece, cool. It's been the longest time in the oven. That one comes out good. And that's what Slomo's saying. It's like they can leave your game disappointed. Like if they left after Season of the Drifter, like a lot of people would. Or if you leave after that and you have the annual pass that has this, I feel like it's a dice roll like every season because we don't know how they're going to be. Which one is the one that people are going to like? But it's like the more of those you have, the more odds you have that somebody's going to get to a point where they're like, this one sucks them out.
Yeah, but it's cool as long as they say, "Hey, man."
But I was like, you're hold on. I want to say one thing. You're saying two different paths. You're like, it has to be really good content.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying it doesn't have to be big. But big and good don't have to be.
Well, that's fine. But but again, the way the season pass has gone, if it's something, they're not going to do like the full like Strike and Crucible map and like story content charges every time. Right. So if whatever phase of the annual pass doesn't set well and you fall off, is that going to leave that bad taste for you or someone else?
We cannot accept mediocrity from this annual pass structure. Now, I'm bending the knee to it. However, like, put it this way: we've seen. Let's look at each one individually, right? Black Armory, story, trash. Lore, trash. Gameplay loop, I feel was good, right? Yeah. I felt somewhat, you know what I'm saying? At least I enjoyed it. Grinding loop, getting those good rolls, getting your best blast furnace, doing all that stuff. Okay, cool. And we got a raid. Was the raid the greatest? Not necessarily, but it was solid. It was a solid raid. So I think what they got to do is they've got the information. You can give us the gameplay loop of Black Armory and a raid, right? And give us some lore. The thing Drifter did do well was a little bit of the lore pieces, right? You know what I'm saying? It did some good things, but at the end of the day, they can still you mean to tell me, even if they don't want to do a refresh, right? You can still do what you did, like at the end with Aldrin. Remember with that big crazy cinema? We're like, yo,
I know.
He's back.
Still want to know what's going on with that.
You can do cool things like that without a comment. You can still pull it off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they're capable. I think this experiment was an experiment. Let's just call it what it is. They've got the feedback that we don't like this part of this experiment. We don't like that part. Just take that, combine it, and I still think they can be able to put out a quality annual pass product. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I don't think it's mutually exclusive that it has to be big for it to be quality, is what I'm trying to say.
That's fair. And I think sometimes just them on this like weekly cycle is almost too much.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like it's got to be a little tad bit here and there. I was like, every 2 or 3, like spread the, as you said, little slightly larger nuggets out, like 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3, like spread some of the, like make things a little bigger, but make them a little farther as opposed to bam, 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 but all the little tiny things in the middle suck. Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, something like that. So,
yeah, as long as they listen, man, that's
we're
it.
Getting close. Wait, when is E3? No, I was like, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
When is E3?
June, we're talking. I'm
It's
flying out
like
the
the week
7th.
after
So the
season.
conferences are like the weekend of the 8th, and then like the actual event of E3 is probably like the 11th of June to 13th or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a Tuesday, yeah,
So
something
I
like
mean,
that.
we'll have Season of the Opulence before it starts.
Hmm.
Have your chance to play that.
Hmm.
Um, oh man, people who if
Right.
the Raiders, because if you go June 4th, and if they do
Uh,
their 3 days on Friday of June 7th, and you're saying
mm,
the conferences start
yeah,
Saturday
I'm gonna
night,
miss out. Oh
Sunday.
no, actually, I'm not, because your boy got Destiny on his 1060 laptop. Woo! So I will be bringing this bad boy out there
Oh, there you
to
go.
E3. We're gonna be shining, y'all. Destiny's on this bad boy, so we will
Ah,
be good.
nice.
Hmm. I don't know if I'm gonna be raid ready, but I'll be good.
Slow mo's got another piece too. But yeah, it's
Oh,
like
so was on it.
so we've got yeah, like E3 coming. They'll probably let some of that
Hmm.
die down. At some point, they've got to tell us what the fall is going to have because it
Hmm.
does sound like that's the time to dump the news. Whether it's
Hmm.
around E3, whether they do their own stream with something in there, or they're going to let some of Season of Opulence play out and talk about it in July. I don't know, but I just want to know what the hell's going to happen. So at this point,
Yeah.
we've speculated a lot. We've done this recently because there's only so much. The TWAB is as short as it has possibly ever
Oh
been.
man. Yeah.
There were a few patch notes, and honestly, it's not really anything worth covering. So
Absolutely. Just literally, Arbalest is going to be in the loop pool after. Thank God, 'cause that's what I'm getting it. Hmm.
it's not that bad, honestly. If you just want to knock it out, it's really not that bad for the
No,
forest.
I'll use my faded engram. Thank you.
It's not gonna be in that for a little while.
I'll wait. Listen,
It's
my
not
luck
that
with
great, so you're
Lord.
not missing much. So you're fair.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to go crazy
No.
about it. But shout out to Sed Freed and Vagabondo going at it in the chat. Really funny. He's like, "Hey, I've been not playing and playing other things. I've been doing that. I feel you, bro. We got to see what's gonna happen. I do feel better about Opulence. I just want to know how they're gonna attack it. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Well, there's a big swinger in September. We'll see what happens with it.
Hmm.
It honestly and that's the point. Always having something like this is gonna have like every single month having something in Destiny. At some point, it's okay to take a little like we're gonna breathe for the month, let things settle. We're gonna do stuff in October. So September just gonna be a chill month. So like if
Yeah.
that's the case, then
As long as they
pick your
tell me.
battles. Yeah, they just
Gotta
need to
tell
talk.
me. Gotta tell me. That's it. Those are no radio silence. Just communicate with your base. That speaks wonders.
Well, I've got to run this morning, guys. So this was
Yes,
going to
sir.
definitely be a shorter one.
Hmm.
But there wasn't a lot to talk about. Anthem is truly just it's going to be set on a shelf for a while.
Yeah.
And that's just going to take some time to see what comes of it. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be working through Division 2 with my brother a little bit. But in other times I'll be playing some other things too, like Salt and Sanctuary and things like that. So just to try other things, but it was nice yesterday playing with some people in Gambit, working on titles and stuff like that, knocking out some pinnacle weapons. That was cool. I enjoyed that. So it's still always got those moments when things come together. Just
Yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
takes a little while for things to come together.
Yeah, gameplay loop is always going to be what it be. Like I said in reference to the Anthem thing, but yeah, like I said, that live team is invested and they're really putting out a lot, you know what I'm saying, of content. And then as far as Destiny, yeah, we got to see. September's a fun little month to analyze. Borderlands is coming out strong and they're looking good. So and we got to see what with Destiny with Bungie, how they attack. I think I'm so curious, about how the end of the year wraps up, right? Like, how do they go about navigating all these things and doing it as their own entity? Like, I'm so curious about this. Like, how are they planning? Like, really, really, really curious, man. Want to see.
Yeah, I was like, there are people in the world of Activision that make good and bad decisions, but they've been doing it for a while in the publisher world, dodging, like, messing with this type of stuff. And Bungie's like, we got to figure this out on our own. So it's going to be interesting. So I was like, they're not dumb people. A lot of them have been in the gaming world for so long. They've seen a lot of things. And we'll just see how they play their cards. I'm very, very curious as well. And the months ahead will be interesting. But I don't think after Tuesday, I don't think we have anything left in the world of Season of the Drifter.
Yeah.
I was like, I think the exotic quest was basically just the Arbalist, to my knowledge. I don't think there's going to be a separate one. So For now, guys, work on your checklists. Enjoy. If you do want to step away for a week or two, check out other things. That's okay. And we'll know more about Opulence probably in a few weeks, but we'll still be doing these. And of course, you'll miss the E3 one,
Yeah,
things like that. But we'll be at Guardian Con. So if you guys are going,
Yes,
definitely
sir.
look
Come
about
holler
hitting
at
us
us.
up. Yeah, we will be at Guardian Con.
Yes, sir.
All right, have an awesome one, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We got to work on this timing.
So let me get my outro first. You ain't gonna get my outro.
I know, but I was just saying, when we get there, we got to work on this timing, so we'll try and get it right.
All right, so real quick, you already know
yeah.
me, Cognito on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a podcast every Sunday, you know what I'm saying, 1 p.m. Eastern. We should have a good one, y'all. So you have some returning guests. Working on a guest that's industry insider guy, is a name by the name of Ainsley Bowden. So he should be dropping some nuggets, but he may have to play a hockey game. So we can't. I got pencil. He's on pencil right now. So we're gonna see. But we may have some really juicy nuggets about 5. A lot of stuff going on. So please check us out. It's gonna be lit. Sunday, 1 p.m. on Iron Lord Podcast YouTube, and also on our channel. You got Lord King David, the King of Statues. He's got some amazing pieces right now. Thanos, Hawkman. You got to check it out, man. If you're a fan of comics, if you're a fan of statues, please check out the King of Statues. You already know.
Yeah. For me, you guys know I'll be streaming just off and on and playing this and seeing what comes next. But yeah, just mostly like streaming, got my YouTube videos coming. Zur obviously will be delayed today, mostly just because I'm not going to be home till about 6 o'clock. So try and get it up as soon as I get home. Don't expect anything crazy. Invitations of the 9 as well are delayed still, at least till Tuesday, but they are supposed to be fixed on the patch on Tuesday, a little mini patch. But outside of that, that's it for me as well. So for your two gentlemen here talking about your looter shooters, this is the last word. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Have a good one, people. Peace.